Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Welcome back to Günther's Kitchen. Today we're making this beautiful Basque cheesecake from Sebastian. Stick around and check out how I made it. The ingredients you need is cream cheese. I use Philadelphia cream cheese. You need a lemon. We just use the zest. You need eggs, cream, plain flour and a bit of corn flour. You need vanilla paste or fresh vanilla. You can use extract if that's all you've got. And you need sugar. And you need a tin, a lime tin. And that's it. So let's start. The cream cheese is at room temperature. So I just let it run for a minute and we use the paddle. Yeah, we don't want to get much air into the mix. So we just put it on low and let it start running until it gets a bit smooth. And you keep your rubber spatula handy so you can always put the sides down. As soon as it's a bit smooth, we add the sugar. Okay, so now let's add the sugar. So we're adding vanilla paste. We're adding about 5 grams of vanilla paste. And then we are letting it run. Just let it run on low. We don't want to beat the cream cheese. We just want to mix it all very well. In the meantime, we're cracking our eggs into a bowl. And as always, the recipe is in the descriptions. And then we mix them up our eggs. It's easier when you mix up the eggs from the beginning to mix it all together. And always clean your sides down, because if you don't clean your sides down, as you can see, you need to clean your sides down, otherwise you will get lumps. And you don't want cheese lumps through the cheesecake. You want it to be nice and smooth all the way through. And as soon as you see the mix being all smooth together, no cheese lumps, then you can start adding the eggs. I just put 1 egg in, but 1. And then again, clean your sides down. And let it run. While I'm waiting to the egg to incorporate in the cream cheese, I start grating my lemons for the zest. So I can put that into the egg, because it's all gonna mix in at the same time anyway. Now, a lot of people don't put lemon in. I love to have the lemon in. So the richness or the heaviness from the cream cheese is sort of reduced a bit from the lemon. It's not as, it tastes a bit fresher. And I only use the lemon zest for the fragrance and the flavor. We don't need too much sourness to it. And now, while the cream cheese is getting very smooth with no lumps, I also add my corn flour and my plain flour. For a kilo, it's only like 2 tablespoons of plain flour and 1 tablespoon of corn flour. And when you add it while it's thick, it will guarantee you that it's mixed in very well. Don't add it. You can actually make a paste with the cream if you want, but don't just add it at the end when you've got everything running. You'll get lumps. So now this is all in. Now we're adding the rest or more of our eggs, bit by bit. And the lemon is in there as well. The beautiful color. And then again, I'm using my rubber spatula to clean the sides down. It's always better to clean the sides down too often than having lumps at the end. In the meantime, we can fix our tin. Now I've lined the tin with parchment paper or greaseproof paper on the bottom, and I also buttered it really well. So I cut some strips of paper, and we just put it in So because I buttered it well, it should stick easily to the tin, so it does. So now the only thing you have to worry about now is that at the ends, where it's overlapping, you've got no butter. So you can take a little bit of butter and just smear the ends of your paper, so it sticks to the paper. Okay, so now we start again. We're putting it in. Okay, here you see, all it needs to is stick to the side, because as soon as you put the cheese filling in, it will hold anyway. So you don't have to worry about, collapsing. And now we start adding our cream. As before, just little by little. This will be quite a runny mix, but it's got to be nice and dark brown on the outside and like creamy on the inside. The mix is done, so now let's take it out. As you can see from the paddle, there is no lumps. So now we're just cleaning this down, because what happens is that the lemon zest sometimes gets stuck to the paddle, and you don't want to lose the lemon zest because that's your flavoring. Now let's take it out, and we use a bigger spatula, and let's pour it in. As you can see, there is no lumps in the mix at all. Beautiful. Now we're putting it in the oven. Okay, so the oven is hot. Let's put it in. 240 degrees and for about 35 minutes. Okay, the time is up. Let's take it out. Whoa. Okay, so now we just let it cool down. Okay, so I just let it cool on the bench now, and then I'll put it in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow morning we're going to cut a piece and we'll try it. Okay, now it's time to take out the cheesecake. It's been sitting in the fridge overnight. Now let's see if it comes out of the tin easily. I always like to fold it in, put a board on it, and put it upside down. And then you can just tag it a little bit on the paper, and it should come out. Beautiful. Okay. So now the first thing we do, we take the paper off down the bottom. That's the first thing. Then we take our plate or our platter, and we do the same thing again. We put it upside down. Just got to be fast, otherwise you drop it on the ground. And now all we need to do is take the paper off, and look at that. How nice does that look? Okay, now as you saw, the cake is out. Now let's cut a piece. Very important, hot knife, because it's a very creamy cake. So I always like to mark my cake in half, and then you're gonna see where the middle is. So let's cut. As you see, very, very creamy cake, and wipe your knife clean. Whoa. We're going to lay it down, then you can see the creaminess of the cake. Just want to show you how creamy the cake is. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now let's try it. As you saw, it's so creamy, so custardy, absolutely delicious, and you can see all the vanilla specks through it. Yeah, now let's try it a little bit with the burnt part. Just perfect contrast. A little bit burnt and the creamy richness. Yum. All right, so I'll see you soon at Gunther's Kitchen. Bye for now.